So the Walrus Audio Slo Ambient Reverb. It's got modulation in it. It's got 3 different engines we can play with. What's not to like, right? So the basics. We've got the decay control, which just controls how long that reverb tail goes for. We've got the mix, obvious really, how much of that reverb is blended in, how much of our dry signal can we hear. Interestingly, the white line around 2 o'clock, that's actually about equal amounts of reverb and dry signal, so it's not as you might expect it at 12 noon. X does different things. In dream mode, it controls the depth of our vibrato, so here we go again. Let's listen to this one. So right down, and if I put it right up, yeah, I mean you can hear so much more there. Absolutely, it's amazing, the textures. Right, the depth gives us control over the amount of modulation. So this is going to get pretty crazy if I turn this right up. The filter is basically like a tone control, you could think about it like that, so it kind of sweeps up the tone frequencies. So clockwise is brighter on the reverb trails, and then obviously anti-clockwise, counterclockwise is darker. So it just depends what you're after, really. There's so many textures on this. Now on the dream mode, which is what we're on, we can also sustain that. So it's just ongoing now. Goes on and on and on, just providing this like layer of textures behind your playing is awesome. And then if I hit the sustain, it just kind of decrescendos back to the settings we had it at before. Lovely thing. Let's have a look at the dark setting. I love this one. So what this one does, see if you can guess, hang on. Let me play some individual notes. Hear that octave coming up behind it, that lower octave. So that's what it's doing, it's adding a sub-octave. So this gives you a really full warm sound with that sub-octave. I really like that. So this time the X control is basically the amount of sub-octaves. So let's have a little play with that. Let's go right down. And then we'll go back up and have a listen to this. Tracking's not little bad on it. Obviously it's a bit behind what I'm playing. But that's what you want. You want it to kind of rise and fill up that space behind you. Really nice. Okay. And let's just have a look at the rise as well. So this is, again, interesting. So let's see what this one does. So it's lovely. Again, it does what it says. It kind of rises up behind your note. Let me put the mix right up. It will be really obvious. So it's like a volume swell, isn't it? It's like a volume pedal after you. It's not like a kind of violin effect almost. Right, so X this time. It's the amount of time for the rise to occur. I'm going to give it a little bit of that modulation off there. So you hear that's rising slowly. And then if we put that back again, so straight away. Very cool indeed. Let's get the mix back down. So it can be more of a subtle effect than that, and I quite like it quite low down in the mix. Then when you're playing, it kind of doesn't come out straight away, it doesn't leap out, so you can still hear the dry guitar really easily, but then there's those tails kicking in. There they are. That's really nice. You know, really usable. You can get it quite subtle. So the other thing that's really worth mentioning is that the Slo has secondary functions on some of its controls. So let's have a quick look at those. On the mini toggle switch in the middle, we can also change the function of the modulation. So what we need to do is hold down the bypass switch while it's actually engaged, just by pressing down here. And then we use the mini toggle just to switch between the sounds. So I'll do that and give you an idea of how they all do sound. So at the moment we are on the dark reverb setting. That's the one with the sub-octave. Right, now if I hold that in and then put the toggle switch down, I'm now moving from sine to warp. So sine is a smoother effect. Let's have a quick listen to this one. And I'll flick through them so you can hear them. Remember, it's the reverb tail that's changing. It's not the sound of the guitar, it's the reverb, right? Right, let's go back to the sine and then I'll flick between the three that we've got. So, right, sine. Warp. And sync. And then the other secondary function is on the depth control, and that controls the rate of the modulation. So again, if I hold that down, I can put the rate lower. Let's have a listen again. Right, let's put it back up. Very clear difference with this one. There we go. And now if I just use the controls as usual again, I'm now controlling the amount of modulation. Slow. And there we go. A quick overview of the Walrus Audio Slo Reverb. It is a sonic architect's dream. You could spend all day with this, going through the 3 different reverb engines, all the different tones available on there, and just lose yourself. You could just lose yourself in the cavern of sound for weeks on end. Yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Okay, take care, and thanks for watching.